Howdy, howdy, this is Crafty Grinding back again with a video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I'm going to do a ranked up champ review for Corvus Glaive and do a little gameplay to show you what a ranked 4 level 55 Corvus Glaive can actually do damage wise. Simply put, Corvus is definitely a bursty champ. He's a heavy damage burst fighter. You're going to get him in a long fight, and he doesn't turn out to be the greatest just because, as we'll read quickly through here in a minute about his abilities, he has the glaive. It's in his name, right? Corvus's glaive should really be instead of just Corvus Glaive. But anyway, that glaive has basically 20 charges that automatically hits a critical hit every time. He's got insane critical damage every time he completes one of his missions, but it only has 20 charges. So after 20 charges, then there's like 50 seconds that glaive has to be recharged, and during that time he does pretty small amount of damage. So he's not a long fight champ for sure, but for short bursty fights, events, missions, regular missions, that kind of stuff, even some Act 5, Act 4 type of gameplay, he's great for. But anyway, just to look at some of his base stats here, you can see what I was talking about. His critical rating, his ability to do a critical hit is 0%, so he's nothing with that. He does very little damage without the glaive. Critical damage rating, though, is already at 162, and that's multiplied every time he finishes one of his missions, and we'll talk about those missions shortly. And then in terms of his armor rating, block proficiency, pretty much on par with like Blade, some other rank 4s that I have. So we'll jump over and get into a little bit of the specifics about his abilities, so you can see what I'm talking about in terms of his glaives. There are 4 types of missions, though, that I mentioned. Every time he completes one of these missions, it multiplies the critical damaging effect that he has. So you can see it's a cruelty buff that's applied to a persistent charge, increasing his critical damage by 3,075. That can be multiplied by 4 times. Here are the 4 missions. Eliminate an Avenger. Another bonus, if he eliminates an Avenger, the next time or any time he runs to an Avenger in like one kind of going through a mission, that he gets 10 additional glaive charges. So that goes from 20 to 30. With technology, so anytime he knocks out a tech champ, he gets an additional persistent charge, plus tech champs from that point moving forward also have a 25% reduction in their ability accuracy. Then Hunt for the Uncanny, so anytime he fights an X-Men, he knocks out a mutant, he's going to get that. And then also he gets another bonus. The bonus with the X-Men is basically anytime after he knocks out a mutant, he gets a special 2 attack safeguard for any opponents when he's carrying either Wolverine, X-23, or Storm in his party. Then lastly, there's challenging defenses. If he knocks down or hits an evade champ like a Spider-Man, Nightcrawler, you name it, during a fight, he also gets a mission completed that way. Plus, if he's got Proxima on his team, he'll also get his true damage buff turned into a true strike buff, so help with evade champs moving forward. So this gets a little bit Glaive's immunity. He doesn't take damage. He has an immunity against Cold Snap, Bleed, and Shock debuffs. So that's another Bleed champ. Somebody great for a Bleed, I should say, immune champ. And also a good champ against the Iceman with that whole Cold Snap immunity there. And even when his glaive doesn't have any charges and it's recharging, basically, he has the ability to purify any of those debuffs. He does take a little damage, but he pretty much knocks him out of the park quickly. Then at the start of the fight, this gets into the whole thing about his glaive coming with 20 charges, and then once it's knocked out, then it has to recharge. Takes up to 50 seconds. Let's see here. And when it is charged, when his glaive is charged, he can hit through enemy blocks with critical hits. And then when knocked down, his glaive kind of like has to recharge for 3 seconds, then comes back with the same amount of charges he had before he was knocked down, either by a heavy or a special. And then with well-timed blocks, like a parry, then he also applies an armor break. And that armor break can last up to 4 seconds. So I think that's why a lot of people look at Glaive to Corvus to be a good opponent, a good attacker against an Iron Man Infinity War, for example. And speaking of his armor break, his special 1, if that armor break is applied, it does more damage. For special attack 2, that special attack is unblockable and instantly drains 20% if an opponent's power bar is all the way maxed out. So, and this, of course, is if he has any charges left on his glaive when he's hitting. And lastly, if he has at least 1 charge left on his glaive, he does additional damage with the special 3, almost 3,000. And then that amount is doubled if Corvus's health is below 10%. So anyway, this is a quick basic rundown of his abilities, how he hits. Let's see it actually in some gameplay here. So I'm going to jump over now to the Uncollected Chapter 1, Part 1, the path where I'm actually getting ready to fight Captain America Infinity War here, and so that's going to be an Avenger. Then I've got a Tech Champ with Star-Lord, so then I'll be able to get 2 missions, and you really see his power rank up at that point. His critical damage, I should say. So let's jump into it. Let's pull Corvus here. So right now I have 0 persistent charges. This is regular damage I'm going to do. Of course, after getting through my hits here. So decent damage against Captain America. Get the old glancing attacks on me. So this attack is going to be unblockable. Let's get out his special one here. Or maybe not. There it is. It's almost out of my my glaive charges there, so that would have been some trouble. But still kept it within the first 20. But you could see it wasn't doing super damage at that point. But now I have 1 attack, or 1 mission completed, so you're going to see he's going to hit much harder this time around. And now this is a Tech Champ, so I've got a chance to really ramp up his attacking ability here. So you can see you can see with the persistent charge I have 1 at this point. You can see the damage is really spiked up now. So this is just a special one, and I'm almost taking him out already. So yeah, 20 hits, and down goes Star-Lord. So now that I've taken out a Tech Champ, another mission has been completed. So now I've got 2 persistent charges, 2 of the Fury. Now let's go ahead and do that. 2 of the Fury buffs applied, so that I really have the, or not Fury, critical damage buffs basically, so you're going to see me knock through them here. Oops, bad fight there. And now you see right there my glaive has been shut off, so does my damage at that point. 20,000. Oops. 7, 6, 5, and down a win. I was counting down my glaive hits there, but as you can see, the damage really ramps up once you get a couple of your missions completed, and most of the time, sometimes getting the evade is difficult, as you might not always run into an evade champ, but typically with most of the event missions that I've run through, or any of the missions that I run through where Corvus is part of the team, I get a chance to hit or to complete a number of the missions. Typically, like this case, you saw that it was 2. So he's definitely been a good addition to the team. I've got X-23 as my other rank 4 and Blade. So with X-23, I also get that synergy where once I knock down a mutant champ, I get a safeguard put against all special 2s of all opponents, not even if they're not mutant kind of thing. So all in all, a pretty good member added to the team. I just did, if you follow my channel, you did see that I got Domino, so it'll be interesting to see compared to her, how does he do, you know, in short fights versus long fights. Obviously, Domino's probably going to be better. But again, all in all, pretty impressed with Corvus as a short fight champ taken up to rank 4. So pretty happy with the investment of some of those higher end rank up materials. But anyway, if you were fortunate enough to also get your hands on either a 4-star or 5-star Corvus, would love to hear your thoughts about the champ. Throw it on down in the comment section. We could talk about it there for sure. And if you have any questions about Corvus in general, just throw it down in the comment section, and happy to discuss it there. Other than that, hopefully you like this video, and if so, would really appreciate if you click that thumbs up button. If you like this and other videos I have on the channel, would really appreciate a subscribe. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.